League runners-up in 1937 to Manchester City, winners of the FA Cup in 1947, beating Burnley in the final. And that season, when they got to the semi-final of the FA Cup, the last time they've reached the final four of a domestic cup competition. A big night for all concerned, notably their skipper George Dobson. Quite a few of these Charlton players got a start in their professional careers with one of the bigger clubs of the Premier League and have filtered their way down to League One level. Dean Holden in charge for just the fifth time this evening. Couple of wins in his last two games. Just a few suggestions that he's pulled Charlton out of their slump that had seen them go 11 games without a victory. Manchester United of late in pretty prime form, one defeat in 17. And tonight, 8 changes to the team that beat Everton in the FA Cup on Friday. Those that remain are Dalot, Malacia and Anthony. There's a debut for 17-year-old midfielder Kobbie Mainoo. Like Garnacho, part of the United team that won the FA Youth Cup last season. Bruno Fernandes suspended, Marcus Rashford on the bench.
Well, United revert to the centre-back partnership that was so poor at the start of the season. Martinez and Maguire, so they need to play much better here today. They give the debut, as you mentioned, to Kobbie Mainoo, who was excellent in their FA Cup youth win last season. He's excellent in that midfield area. He'll probably play slightly deeper and make forward runs. And as we heard, it should be Elanga through the middle. Garnacho, I think, will play on the left-hand side. Elanga through the middle. Anthony on the right-hand side. It's a good Manchester United team.
Let's look at the Charlton lineup. They make just one alteration to the side that earned a narrow victory over Lincoln in League One at the weekend. Aussie goalkeeper Ashley Maynard-Brewer returns after concussion. Steven Sessegnon is the twin brother of Tottenham's Ryan Sessegnon. He starts at left back. And Miles Leaburn leads the line, just as his father Carl did for Charlton for more than a decade.
Well, they have switched from a back three to a back four on occasions since the arrival of Dean Holden, and that looks to be the case tonight with Innes and Ness, the two centre-backs. Clare and Sessegnon, the two full-backs. It's a strong midfield. Dobson will be the holding player. Morgan to his right, Fraser to his left. And watch out for Miles Leaburn up front. He can lead the line, he can run in behind, and he can score a goal.
And there's also the on-loan winger, Jurison Raksaki of Crystal Palace. But we're looking at Alejandro Garnacho, the 18-year-old, called up already by the senior Argentina team prior to the World Cup. Not yet capped, a junior at Atletico Madrid, very much making his way at Manchester United now. Scorer of a couple of goals already this season. Charlton's normal colours would be red. They are obliged to change tonight as Ashley Maynard-Brewer, 23-year-old Australian, takes his place in goal for Charlton. His countryman Jared Gillett with the whistle. One last chance then for a non-Premier League team to make a proper impact at the business end of this season's Carabao Cup. Can Charlton Athletic, backed by 9,000 travelling fans, knock out in form Manchester United? Here is Corey Blackett-Taylor. And Blackett-Taylor flicking it centrally where Lisandro Martinez, 3.5 weeks on from winning the World Cup, is there to deal with it. Charlton with a free kick.
Yeah, Elanga playing through the middle. It's just interesting to see who plays the furthest forward midfield player. Mainoo looks as though that could be him from the right-hand side of that midfield three. It's half a chance really for Blackett-Taylor to really run at Dalot. Dalot backed off and backed off. He got himself into the box.
Touched back by Malacia. Tom Heaton is in goal for just the second time for Manchester United this evening. Previous appearance was in the Champions League as a substitute against Young Boys last season. McTominay. It's cut out by the skipper for Charlton, Dobson. McTominay emerges with it a second time, and here's Garnacho. Held up by Clare. Garnacho breezes past him. Here's Dalot. First clear chance of this tie inside 100 seconds.
Yeah, that's a worry for Charlton. Garnacho going past Claire far too easily. Don't think he was looking for Dello, but it ends up he was looking for Anthony, I think, as he comes in here. It's behind Anthony, and Dello racing onto it on his left foot, just gets underneath it. Blackett Taylor went to sleep, but this is good play from Garnacho. That's what you expect to see from him. A little step over, change of pace, and a decent ball into the box.
We were hearing from the two irascible Scots in the ESPN Plus studio with Dan ahead of kick-off. Don Hutchison for him. Charlton on penalties.
Just about a Scot, I would say.
Just about a Scot, OK. And Craig Burley, Manchester United to win comfortably. Where do you stand on this?
Yeah, I think Manchester United should win the game comfortably. Charlton haven't been great this season. They have been slightly better under Dean Holden. Talked about the change of system on a couple of occasions. But goal scoring is going to be their problem. They haven't scored many goals this season. It's whether they can really pose Manchester United a problem tonight. That's why they've won so many of their cup games on penalties.
Remarkably reaching this stage of the competition, their fifth game in the Carabao Cup. They've only won one in regulation time. 3 of them have gone to shootouts, and they've only scored 3 goals in the Carabao Cup this season. It's the equivalent of turning water into wine. Charlton supporters determined to create as much noise as they possibly can. It's a long time since they last visited the so-called Theatre of Dreams. Nearly 16 years. Manchester United have won the last 10 games against Charlton and are unbeaten in their last 18 meetings. Here's Fred. Menu. Dobson comes steaming in and wins it for Scott Fraser. Dallow. This is Anthony. Put in by Sessegnon.
And we heard Craig Burley talking about big game for Anthony tonight. Hasn't played particularly well since he's come back from the World Cup. I'm not sure he's playing particularly well before the World Cup. He's a player that needs to have a good game. Crowd are just getting onto him a little bit at Old Trafford. Maguire will be a target. Oh, he's so good in the air from set plays.
The Dutchman Malacia will take the corner. And it will not be one that he will remember fondly.
I think he came back from an offside position there, as we had in the Liverpool-Wolves game.
We think.
We think, yes. It's never quite confirmed, but that was the only way it could have been offside, and that was the case there. Not a good one from Malacia.
Flurry of domestic cup football to start the calendar year in England. At the busyness of the third round of the FA Cup. Now, Carabao Cup quarter-finals today and tomorrow. Next midweek, FA Cup third round replays. And still to be packed in within January, the fourth round of the FA Cup and the first leg of the semi-finals of this competition. Here's Heaton. And then Dallow. The more straightforward clearance from Maguire. It was Lucas Ness, 20-year-old central defender who's just back from a loan spell with Torquay United. Martinez. Maguire. Garnacho. Leaves Claire on the floor. and finds an angle himself.
Good start to the game for Garnacho. Brilliant pass by Harry Maguire, stepping out from the back. Big diagonal. That second touch is a good one from Garnacho. Then threatens to cross it with his left foot. Not good defending from Claire. You can see what he's trying to do. Wrap his foot round it and bend it into that top corner. Looks to be on form, the Argentinian wide player.
Have you seen enough of him to have become a fan, or at least what would you regard as his true potential?
Well, I saw a lot of him last season. Followed Manchester United in every game of their FA Cup youth run, where they beat Nottingham Forest in the final, where he scored a couple of goals. And he's an outstanding talent, no question about that. He's got that bit of pace, he's got a bit of trickery. On one or two occasions I've been a little bit disappointed with his performances. You know, he's only a youngster, of course he is, but there's been so much hype. On his day, I think he's going to be excellent, but I think he's going to be inconsistent for a few months, maybe a couple of years.
Still just 18. Here's Maguire looking for him and locating him, and the shot at goal had the goalkeeper Maynard Brewer just scrambling to cover his post.
Well, second ball in succession from Harry Maguire. That one was just in between the two players. It's a good touch from Garnacho. Claire's having a bit of a shocker at right back and then drags his shot wide. I don't think he's endeared himself to every Manchester United player so far, Garnacho, over his short career.
There have been one or two murmurs about his attitude. Manchester United this evening looking for an 8th consecutive victory in all competitions. This is Dalot. And of course we've teed this up as being the potential for a giant killing of sorts from a Charlton perspective, but those of us with medium-term memories, not even veterans, can remember much happier days for Charlton when they were a consistent Premier League force.
And one of the reasons they were a consistent force in the Premier League is because they had consistency in their management. Alan Kirbishley was there for a long time, took them up, kept them in the division. They sacked him while they were still in the Premier League. Alan Pardew took over, couldn't keep them from relegation, and it's been not particularly good for them since.
And there are plenty of current machinations over the ownership of the club as well. They've had a couple of unhappy spells of leadership from the top. Roland Duchâtelet had control of the club for 6.5 years. He still owns the training ground of the stadium, and the current owner, Thomas Sandgaard, a Danish-American, doesn't seem the most popular in London SE7.
This is the man that seems popular at the moment. He's got a couple of good results. The crowd are starting to see what he can do.
But Dean Holden's come into this job with precious little managerial experience. Just 2 months in charge of Oldham, 7 months at Bristol City, where he slotted in after working as an assistant to Lee Johnson.
I think he's done a lot of coaching, it just hasn't been a manager for too long. Now he's got his chance at Charlton.
Charlton on this broad stage, having knocked out Premier League Brighton on penalties in the last round, following a goalless draw at the Valley.
Which, having seen Brighton in the last couple of weeks, shows what a good result that was.
Martinez. There's the Swede, Elanga. Held up by Ness. Fred. Dalot. Menu. Garnacho. Fred with time. And the block was by Innes.
Good block it was as well. Really good play from Manchester United. Again, Garnacho involved. Fullback Malacia getting forward. The cut back to Fred. Well, it probably hits him more than anything else. But he was in the right place. That's the main thing.
Corner was horribly hit. Shanked directly out of play by Malacia.
4 shots already for the home side. Erik ten Hag making his first notes. Malacia off the corners, I think.
Ashley Maynard-Brewer relieved to be past fit for this. He missed the weekend win over Lincoln after suffering a concussion. And Scott Craig McGillivray played in goal instead. Charlton's #1 goalkeeper is the Ghanaian Jojo Wollacott, who was meant to be at the World Cup and sadly was injured just before the tournament. Here's Blackett-Taylor, and behind by Maguire.
Oh, that was really good play from Charlton. Maynard-Brewer started it with the switcher play out to the right-hand side. They worked it through their midfield with Morgan. Blackett-Taylor giving them lots of width out on this left-hand side, and he can run with the ball, as you saw there.
6'4" Miles Leaburn, every bit as tall as his father Carl, who played 400 games for Charlton.
Played a few for Wimbledon as well.
Heaton with a touch, and then the ball obligingly directed straight back at him. And the 36-year-old former England goalkeeper bowls it out to Garnacho, who's on his way with numbers in support. Elanga. Garnacho. McTominay. Menu. Finally it was Fred. And now the referee has called a halt because of a problem at the other end of the field.
Yeah, it was from the corner. Heaton came out and won the ball, but also took a bit of his man out with him. There is the challenge. I've already seen he's done a lot of good work in midfield, Dobson. Here's the player that's going to close down. It was Clare that obviously took the whack. He's already got that mask on. Fair challenge by both players. Good jump as well by the fullback, Clare. Dobson with the volley back. Nicely into the arms of Heaton.
A very rare opportunity for Tom Heaton, who's played fewer games for Manchester United than he has for England, and whose third place in the goalkeeping pecking order was further confirmed by the loan signing of Jack Butland yesterday by Manchester United. Got a glimpse there of a man that held the managerial reins for 3 games before Dean Holden took over after Ben Garner had been sacked. Anthony Hayes. In fact, he was in charge for the game against Brighton in the last round.
Dean Holden was at the game just as a watcher. Had a difficult evening so far, Claire. Garnacho's been excellent. He's been the key player. There's the man you were talking about.
They really have gone through managers like no one's business. Dean Holden, Charlton's 13th manager in just 9 years. It's been a decade of upheaval and uncertainty surrounding Charlton Athletic. Maguire. Garnacho. Malacia. Anthony. McTominay. Dalot. And away by Raksaki, the loanee from Crystal Palace, who is fouled.
Haven't seen too much of Raksaki so far. Can score a goal. He's playing on that right-hand side. He's very much a left-footed player. Likes to come infield. He's been the man of the moment. The man of the game so far. Garnacho.
Charlton inquired about a possible free kick. Referee waved that away. Manu. Charlton have had a pretty heavy workload this season. It's their 12th cup tie, their 37th game overall, 10 more than Manchester United, who of course have got a much deeper squad.
Couple of tough characters at the back for Charlton, Innes and Ness. As we've said, they have played with a 3 on occasions, but tonight it is a back 4. He's a big player, Miles Lieburn. As yet, he hasn't won a ball in the air against Maguire and Martinez. Martinez is a lot shorter than him. He's won a couple of balls against him. He's got to back in a bit more. Certainly got more athleticism than his dad had. Probably a better goal scorer as well. I think Carl Lieburn had a record of one of the worst centre-forward goal scoring records, goals to games, than any centre-forward.
I think he averaged about a goal every 7 matches.
But he certainly brought others into play.
Maguire. So, third or fourth time we've seen that lengthy diagonal, this time picking out Malacia. Garnacho. Fred. Anthony. Lovely effort. Well, we're told he is a special player. That is a special moment. Consistency eludes him, but the ability to get spectators out of their seats is his stock in trade.
Well, it was a nice little run from Dalot. Dalot makes the run through the centre-forward position, which just leaves a bit of space for Anthony at this far area. Watch the run of Dalot. That just opens up so the ball can be played to Anthony. A couple of touches. He knows exactly what he's looking to do. And I don't think the goalkeeper, Maynard Brewer, had any chance here. Bent with pace, accuracy, really good finish with his left foot. And that's what you expect to see from a player that cost that amount of money.
$100 million from Ajax. And scoring his 5th goal for Manchester United. And his second in a row, having netted against Everton in the FA Cup on Friday night here. Is it wishful thinking to suggest that maybe Charlton might have made a better fist of closing him down?
Yeah, I think they were caught out by the run of Dello. They went too deep. It's easy to get the ball out to Anthony. And when he gets it onto his left foot, you know he's going to try and strike it into that far corner. Blackett-Taylor could have been out a bit quicker. Sessegnon likewise.
A goal for the showreel from Anthony. Fred. Lisandro Martinez. Alejandro Garnacho. Dallo. Arrowed in towards Anthony. Sent goalwards by Alanga, and it's out with Garnacho. Martinez. Dallo. Malacia. Anthony coming in. And a clash of heads with Sessegnon.
Good defending, Sessegnon. It's not easy. The ball played over the top of him. He knows there's going to be a challenge. He was brave. Just got his head on it. Dallo finding himself out on the left-hand side. He's made a lot of good forward runs. Malacia, the second cross of that move. The first one was the cut back into the 6-yard box. That's really good defending from Sessegnon. Here's the goal again. And it's Blackett-Taylor that could have been out a lot quicker. But he's been dragged into a really defensive position at times. We know he can be a threat with the ball, but the way that Dallo's making forward runs to occupy Sessegnon, it means that he then has to come back and try and mark Anthony. And he didn't do it successfully on that occasion.
Anthony happily back up on his feet. The gentleman in the background, I just saw there Steve McNally, about to finish after 16 years as the club doctor here at Manchester United, and he's taking up a job as the head of medicine with the PGMOL, the referees body. The goal has somewhat quietened the 9,000 travelling Charlton fans. Time was when Charlton Athletic drew the biggest home crowds in England. The years either side of the Second World War, they would regularly get 70,000 plus at the Valley. Cavernous ground in those days in southeast London.
They had a big bank, didn't they, down the side of the pitch, which was something like 35,000.
The Valley became a very sad sight as Charlton hit financial problems in the 1980s, entered business administration, were exiled from their own stadium for 7 years and had to lodge at the home of Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park. It's one of the happier football stories of the last 30 to 35 years that Charlton did manage to recover financially and they did manage to get back home. Now a very well appointed 25,000 all-seater stadium. Maguire. Martinez. Slipped through to his fellow Argentine, Garnacho. Hesitation from McTominay, who feeds Anthony.
I think that was a bad ball from Garnacho. As you said, hesitation from McTominay. Already 6 shots from the home team. Just the one for Charlton, but only one on target for both. A brilliant finish from Anthony. The one for Manchester United.
Fred. Ness. Tomine. Sean Clare. Dallow. McTominay.
You see on the other side, Massey's made so many forward runs. Saki's got to keep tracking back. He's a player that likes to be in the forward areas, that likes to run with the ball. At the moment, he's in another right back position.
McTominay, the player fouled. Defeated in 17 games for Manchester United under Erik ten Hag. Every early season defeats. Way to a pretty consistent run of results since that derby demolition at the Etihad. And the second Manchester derby of the season comes up here. This Saturday with Manchester United in rather better shape than last time. So it would appear.
I think his words after the game was shocked how frightened these United players were of the game, particularly in possession. I think that will be the case next weekend.
Fred. Anthony. McTominay. Blackett-Taylor. Sessin. He's hit off time by Malacia. Garnacho. Martinez. So half an hour done thereabouts. What is the content of your report card?
Well, it's been a little bit too easy for Manchester United to win the ball back. Easy possession. Charlton sitting quite deep. Can't press the ball too high field, too wide. Players have to go a long way back. Means the leader's left up by himself. And there's been a lot of rotation in the Manchester United attacking play. Fred has made forward runs. Mainu as well. I've been really impressed with both Dallow and Malacia. They've got forward. Garnacho has been a better player so far, though. He's been a real on the side of Clare.
Lieberman. To the side of the head.
Although it's difficult for Lieberman, he's got a lot more. Probably been 6 or 7 balls away out of each sort of area. He's, as you said, 6'4", 6'5". He hasn't one in the area, isn't ball down on chest. Made it fairly easy for Maguire and Martinez so far. If they are to get up pitch, he's got to start holding up play.
Malacia. Garnacho. Mainu. Blackett-Taylor. Fraser. Master Saki.
Blackett-Taylor, another chance to run Dallow on occasion. did he make the most of it? That's going around the back. Didn't attack the ball enough. It was in the air for a long time against Valencia.
Red. Anthony. Brazilian down the right and Argentine down the left. Portuguese Dallo. Finding from Fred. That was a really free kick.
Got out quickly, Morgan. Gets himself squared up. Just taking it beyond him. Being tough for those midfield players. Fraser, Morgan. Thompson's been sitting that little bit deeper, just in front of the two centre backs. It's not a big problem for Dallo because he has been good this season.
Won the World Cup with a slight injury that kept him out of a couple of games. Wan-Bissaka is available if required. That's a run of late.
He's done okay as well. Wan-Bissaka. I'm pleased to see that Dallo is starting to fulfil his potential. You know, I saw a lot of him for the Portuguese youth sides when he was a top-class player. Once got him the move to Manchester United, and for a little while didn't really fancy him. He went on loan to Serie A, did particularly well there. Then came back. Had a 2 seasons so far. Erik Ten Hag.
Change is enforced. Opportunity for the Londoner. Those strides away to be assessed. A number of the more creative talents are either not involved for Manchester United, or in the case of Marcus Rashford, might find to the bench. A rare opportunity for Fred to shine from a set piece. Or maybe not. It is Fred! Of course he is Brazilian. And that goes hand in glove with moments of inspiration. It's a terrific free kick. Here's Garnacho. But Maguire. Fred. Let's go back to that free kick.
Well, we were both at the Etihad, saw Amares hit a similar sort of free kick. It's a brilliant strike. Comes from an angle, wraps his foot around it, gets it over a very big wall and back down again. Goalkeeper was certainly beaten brilliant from Fred. Very unlucky.
Raksaki. He crumples in the end, goes down in instalments and gets a free kick.
Yeah, I think that was a good description. He was looking for the foul there as Manu tried to make the challenge. First time we've really seen him run with the ball. Saki saw the challenge coming and just stepped across it. Clever play, really.
20-year-old, 4 first-team appearances for Crystal Palace, from whom he is on loan. Albie Morgan amongst those eyeing this up.
Now, you didn't fancy Fred when he stepped up to take his.
Well, you don't put words in my mouth, Stuart.
What about Morgan here?
Not in the prediction business.
It's a double wall. There's a Charlton wall in front.
Albie Morgan. Goalkeeper didn't seem particularly concerned.
Always bending away. Good couple of yards wide in the end. Wasn't a Really wasn't a terrible effort.
Dean Holden was a fullback for 10 different clubs. Most of them in the English lower divisions. Began at Bolton in the second tier. He played in Iceland and in Scotland. McTominay.
So, being so easy for Maguire to find that pass out to Garnacho. Clare has to get round on the cover because midfield players are making runs for Manchester United through the inside left position. So Clare has to tuck round.
McTominay. Right beneath the referee's nose, and he ultimately gives a free kick.
Well, it did look as though he won the ball here as he was coming back. Yeah, he did. It was a very good challenge by Malacia. The referee got that one wrong. Malacia even suggesting the free kick should have gone his way.
Martinez. Garnacho. Raksaki.
There was just a moment there when Morgan had made a run through the centre-forward position. Martinez was out in the left-back position. Maguire was taken out of position as well. Raksaki didn't quite see the pass. Just a dangerous moment there for Manchester United.
Elanga. Cleared by Blackett-Taylor. Charlton looking to do something they've not managed to do in 2 decades. Almost exactly 20 years since Klaus Jensen became the last Charlton player to score a goal against Manchester United.
What a good player he was as well, Klaus Jensen.
Manu. Anthony. Manu, the 17-year-old on his debut. Fraser. McTominay. Manu. Anthony. Clare importantly cutting it out and winning the tussle with Elanga. Wan-Bissaka.
Once again, you can see Morgan throwing his arms up in despair. He'd made another good forward run. And when it went back to Innes, he didn't see the pass. Once again, you can see Wan-Bissaka doing what Dalot was doing, making a run through the inside right position, leaving the space for Anthony out on this near side.
Anthony. Wan-Bissaka. And Maguire is given the slip by Dobson, the captain, who feeds Raksaki, or tries to.
Good pace, Malacia, not the right pass in the end. But there you saw Anthony get to the byline, had a great chance to cross it with his right foot and turned away from it. Dobson started the counter-attack.
Garnacho.
But at least he was prepared to go down his left-hand side. He's a right-footed player. Mainly likes to come in on his right foot and bend shots into the far corner. Play little 1-2s with the centre forward. Pick out crosses. But he will do it with his left foot. Garnacho. But it's not too bad at the moment for Charlton. Only 1-0 down. Haven't played particularly well. Haven't looked any sort of threat at the moment. But they're still in the game.
When half-time arrives, we'll be getting the views of Craig Burley and Dan Thomas. ESPN FC studio. Manchester United leading through Anthony's 22nd minute goal, as they bid to reach a League Cup semi-final for the third time in the last 4 seasons. Charlton have never reached that stage of the competition. It's just the second time they've played in a quarter-final. Previous occasion 2006-07, when they were beaten at home by League 2 Wycombe Wanderers. In goes Wan-Bissaka, and the outcome is a goal kick.
Well, I can only assume that Wan-Bissaka won the ball and knocked it onto Blackett-Taylor here. That seems to be the case. He's got good pace, Wan-Bissaka. That's his major strength. Came to Manchester United with the reputation of being one of the best 1v1 defenders in the Premier League. It's in areas like this where he struggled on the ball.
Anthony. McTominay.
The referee has indicated a minimum of 3 minutes added time.
Raksaki. Morgan. Leeburn waits, Clare's on the outside. And Clare, and it's well grabbed by Tom Heaton.
And he had to grab it as well. Miles Leeburn had made a good run into the box. Clare tried to pick him out. Here's the overlapping run. And he plays it, he's trying to play it along the 6-yard box.
Scott McTominay. Garnacho.
Another great ball from Harry Maguire. Easy to play. But he's got everyone right so far.
Fred. Harry Maguire. Anthony. McTominay. Anthony again. Square is Fred. Garnacho. Malacia. Anthony. Wan-Bissaka. Innis with the defensive header. Manchester United back for more with Malacia, and now McTominay. Fred. Should just about do it for the first half.
Yeah, it's been a decent first half for Manchester United. They got the goal through Anthony. They've dominated much of the play.